Welcome to Howard's Opinion, the podcast where we dive into the world of sports and give you our unfiltered take on the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Howard, and I'm excited to share my thoughts with you today. We're just a week into the NFL playoffs, and already we've seen some thrilling matchups and impressive performances. But one thing that's caught my attention is the way some teams are able to come back from behind and win games in the fourth quarter. The Buffalo Bills, for example, have made a habit of this, with Josh Allen leading the charge. And then there's the Chicago Bears, who have pulled off an impressive 7 comeback wins in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, okay, Howard, that's all well and good, but what about the Steelers and Texans matchup? Well, let me tell you, that's a game I'm really looking forward to, especially the schematic battle between Aaron Rodgers and DeMeco Ryans. Rodgers is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at reading defenses and making adjustments at the line of scrimmage, but Ryans is a savvy coach who knows how to exploit weaknesses. And speaking of quarterback play, have you ever wondered how QBs adjust their throwing mechanics in windy conditions? Tom Brady recently broke down his approach on a Fox broadcast, explaining that when throwing into the wind, you need to keep the ball neutral and avoid throwing underneath, as the wind friction can push the ball off course. It's fascinating stuff, folks, and a reminder of just how complex and nuanced the game of football can be. We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. We're diving into a fascinating tale that explores the what-ifs of sports history. You know, those moments where one decision can change the course of a life and alter the destiny of a legend. Today, we're talking about none other than Joe Namath, the iconic quarterback who led the New York Jets to a historic Super Bowl III victory. But before he became a football legend, Namath was a talented baseball player with a promising future ahead of him. As the story goes, Namath was offered a substantial contract by the Chicago Cubs back in 1961, a whopping $50,000, which is equivalent to around $450,000 today. Can you imagine if he had taken that offer? The possibilities are endless. He could have been teammates with Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, and Ron Santo, forming a lineup that would have been nearly unstoppable. But alas, fate had other plans. Namath's love for baseball never faded, though. Even as he rose to superstardom in the football world, he often found himself crossing paths with baseball legends. He has fond memories of meeting Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, and Billy Mazeroski, among others. In fact, he even got to play golf with Mazeroski at a charity tournament, which he still cherishes as one of the highlights of his life. It's intriguing to think about how different Namath's life might have been if he had chosen baseball over football. Would he have become a Hall of Famer in Cooperstown instead of Canton? We'll never know for sure, but one thing is certain: Joe Namath's heart was always rooted in baseball. As we reflect on the what-ifs of Namath's career, it's a reminder that the choices we make can have far-reaching consequences, but sometimes it's the unexpected twists and turns that lead us to where we're meant to be. And for Joe Namath, that meant becoming an iconic figure in the world of football. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion. As we wrap up today's show, I want to dive into the exciting world of NFL playoffs. The San Francisco 49ers have pulled off a stunning upset, knocking out the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles with a 23-19 road win. This victory secures their spot in the divisional round against the NFC No. 1 seeds, the Seattle Seahawks. However, the 49ers' success comes at a cost, as they'll be without their talismanic tight end George Kittle, who suffered a season-ending Achilles injury during the game. The injury-hit 49ers have shown remarkable resilience in the face of adversity, with Christian McCaffrey scoring 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to seal the deal. Their depleted defense also managed to shut down the Eagles' offense, making for a thrilling matchup. As the 49ers move forward, they'll need to dig deep and find ways to overcome their injuries if they hope to make a deep run in the playoffs. The NFC West is shaping up to be a highly competitive division, with the Seahawks awaiting the 49ers in the next round. It's going to be a battle for the ages, folks. The 49ers will need to bring their A game if they want to take down the top-seeded Seahawks and keep their playoff hopes alive. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep your head in the game.